Atheists are the pioneers of science. I am proud to say that I'm an atheist and I follow an ideology that promotes science. All scientists are atheists, so you religious folk need to talking about science. Either accept atheism like me or get lost.
Thank you, brother, for the question. You stated very adamantly that atheism developed science and that atheists were the pioneers of science. But if you look into history, we clearly see many atheist scientists who opposed scientific theories. We see science being suppressed under the atheist rule. We see a bloody history where scientists were sidelined, segregated, jailed, tortured and killed for proposing scientific theories that did not support the tenets of atheism. Don't believe me? Well, let's look at the proof. Up until 1927, cosmologists believed that the universe was eternal. But upon the discovery of the Big Bang, it opened a scope for theological implications in the realm of cosmology. The Big Bang theory revolutionized the field of cosmology. In light of the theistic implications of the Big Bang, Fred Hoyle, an atheist scientist, refused to accept the Big Bang. He rather preferred to believe in a model that did not have a single epoch of creation, which would eliminate the need for a creator. As a result, Fred Hoyle, Thomas Gold and Hermann Bondi developed another theory, a theory called as the steady-state theory, which appealed to atheist cosmologists because it avoided the creation event and the religious implications associated with one. American astrophysicist Edward L. Wright has pointed out flaws of the steady-state theory continuously, even though the scientific proof pointed towards the Big Bang theory being the best explanation. Their atheistic dogmatism led them to fight it and build another unscientific theory. Sounds bad? It gets worse. In 1917, since the establishment of the Soviet Union, science really stagnated. Under the state atheism espoused by the Soviet Union, atheistic communists irrevocably opposed the Big Bang as the origin of the universe, since it contradicted their materialistic worldview. According to the ideology of atheist Soviet communism, as it was formulated in the late 1930s, cosmological models with heat death and hence finite upper time scale were rejected because of their theistic implications. In light of this fact, the atheist Soviet government altered the very definition of the science of cosmology in order to support their atheistic materialistic worldview. Not only that, listen to this. Trofim Lysenkov, who was an atheist scientist and a prominent figure in the Soviet Union, developed another new pseudo-scientific field called as Lysenkoism to support the atheist, materialistic, unscientific narrative. The atheist scientists here worked very hard to establish a distorted view of science that is acceptable only to atheistic communism. Another example of this suppression was the oppression of theory of relativity and quantum mechanics, because there was a problematic relationship between these theories and the Marxist-Leninist philosophy. It was criticized on the grounds of contradicting atheistic dialectical materialism. Many scientists were jailed and tortured for supporting scientific theories that opposed the atheistic worldview. Nikolai Vavilov, a very famous Russian scientist, was arrested and starved to death. Shubnikov, Gorsky, Rosenkevich were arrested and shot. Obraimov, Lipensky, etc. are just some of the examples. There are much more. Some reports say that there were around 3,000 scientists who were persecuted in such a manner. If you wish to learn more about this topic, the books are available online. I would recommend you to read The Lysenko Affair, that's a good book. The Lysenko Controversy as a Global Affair, that's a good book too. Science in Russia and Soviet Union, that is also a good book. Another book is Lysenkoism, The Tragedy of Soviet Science. I mean, there are tons of books, but please make sure that you get information from authentic sources, not from any prejudiced commentaries, which I do believe led you to false understanding of the relationship between history of atheism and history of science, my friend. And therefore, please get information only from authentic sources. Now, My dear brother, you also stated in your question that atheists were the pioneers of science, but that's simply not true. The beginning of science and philosophy can be traced back to ancient Greece. The most prominent Greek thinkers like Socrates, Plato and Aristotle were people who believed in a higher power. If you look into the development of science and technology, in many civilizations throughout history, like the Indian civilization, the Egyptian civilization, the Chinese civilization, the Mesopotamian civilization, etc., you'll find that those people who led scientific development were believers in a higher power. If you look into the Islamic civilization, there was massive development in the scientific paradigm, which were led by Muslim scientists who were also scholars in religion and masters of theology. If you look at the prominent figures in the early modern science, like Sir Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, etc., we find that almost all believed in some form of higher power. So the claim that all scientists were atheists who did not believe in the existence of God is just literally false and fabricated. So my dear friend, I would respectfully request you to search and research, learn and unlearn. Before you assume and accuse anyone about anything, please take some time to go learn, search and research. So good day to you, my brother. Peace. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.